Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation.
That's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Welcome back, man, in studio.
Welcome back, man. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah. Back in here. No more blinds. No more echoes.
that was horrible, wasn't it?
Nah, it was all right. It wasn't that bad.
I want to issue a...
Wait, hold on. Before we start, like, listen, subscribe, hit that follow button, hit that bell so you can keep up with everything that we talk about.
Make sure you do that. I want to issue a retraction from a statement that I made about monetary policy, basically saying the only way that we can get debt is through create new wealth is through debt. You know what I mean? As far as like the federal government, we actually push up our debt ceiling, and the Federal Reserve uses that to kind of issue new money. We could pretty much print money without having to issue debt for it. You know? So that's someone online, one of our viewers brought that up, and I went and looked it up, and he was correct about that. So
and we appreciate you for that also. You know what I'm saying? If we say something wrong and you catch it, call us out. We're not like everyone else. We'll admit to what we're wrong.
Absolutely.
You know,
I believe. I can't. You know, I don't know if that's his real name or not, but that's what his name is online.
So it makes you a stronger person to admit you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Unless you live in Louisiana. So here we go. The governor signs a bill classifying the abortion pills as controlled substance into law. I'm going to read this article here to you. Louisiana Governor Jeff Laundrie said Friday he had signed a first-of-its-kind bill making abortion pills controlled substances into law. The law puts the abortion pill in the same category as opiates and other addictive medication.
Wow.
He said the law makes it illegal for people to possess drugs without a prescription in Louisiana, which has a near total ban on abortion. The bill does say the drug can be used for non-abortion reasons and women will not be punished. The bill goes into effect October 1st.
Yeah, that's pretty drastic there. They naming it a controlled substance, man. Like it's a drug now. Like it's a real, like it's fentanyl, like it's heroin.
It's up there. You know, fentanyl is a Schedule 3 drug. You know, marijuana right now, they're about to reschedule it. Marijuana is a Schedule 1. Fentanyl is like a 3, you know. And
I think heroin's up as a number 1.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think ecstasy or something like that is a number 1.
They sell ecstasy in the stores.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this is very telling about what's going on in the Republican Party as far as with the abortion bills and where they're heading with this. It doesn't really matter what a person tells you. This is what they've helped create.
Yeah.
Like we jump into Trump. When he came about this, he's kind of trying to say right now that he's on the fence. Oh, I don't want a total abortion ban, but you put the people in place to create this type of environment where states are doing this to people.
Well, it's a thing. It's like, yo, don't believe what people say, believe what they do.
Absolutely.
You know, actions speak louder than words. I mean, if women want to get, I don't understand. I'm a man. I shouldn't be able to tell women what they can and can't do with their bodies. You know what I'm saying? You're making a near abortion ban. And here in our state, I support if a woman wants to get an abortion. But also, I feel that the family court law should be changed.
I mean, yeah, but just sticking to abortion really quickly.
I am sticking to it.
No, but I'm saying like the honest truth is I don't feel like we should be able to tell a woman what to do with her body either, because I wouldn't want anybody to tell me what to do with mine. I don't want somebody telling me, hey, well, you need to go get snipped or you need to go do this or do that.
But we should also, I mean, not to get off subject, but, you know, men should be able to copyright their sperm too and no one should be able to use it when they freely want to.
What does that mean?
Like, if I shoot my sperm out and I don't give you permission to use it.
I don't understand it. What just rant? I mean, we don't have, you know, I don't want to get into this.
I'm just saying.
What do you mean? Like, are you saying like why you're having sex?
No, I'm just saying like if a woman comes to me and she says she's pregnant and I say, I don't want to have a child with you, she should respect my wishes. And it should be against the law for her to have my baby. As long as here in Washington State, we have abortion laws, I think there should be a little bit of equality.
What are you saying then? So then you're telling a woman what she can and can't do with her body. Because
well, this is the whole thing. A woman can hear this. Yeah,
I do agree, sort of, but it doesn't pan out in the facts.
I'm not telling her what to do with her body. I'm telling her what not to do with my sperm.
How you didn't? You should have. You know, you should have did what you did in the first place. If that was the case, I get what you're saying because I feel like this. I mean, honestly, if a man doesn't want to have a child, of course they say then don't do this. Then what happens sometimes? And things happen.
Well, don't do what?
Do what you're talking about doing just now.
Well, they usually, I've always heard women say, hey, well, once you shoot it out, it's no longer yours to claim. I'm like, well, that's like saying once there's a child inside your stomach, it's no longer your choice to see if you keep it or not, right?
I don't know.
It's a big discussion. I just want equal laws.
It's a big discussion, but you can't have it both ways. You can't say that I don't want you. I'm pro-choice, but then when I don't want to have the baby, you can't have the baby.
Oh, no, pro-choice. No, I'm saying like this. Everyone should have a choice. Some men aren't ready to be fathers. Yeah, we laid down to have sex. The condom broke. I couldn't pull out. I shot up the club. Ooh, you know?
But I like I said,
why do I have to be the bigger person and be on state?
I agree with the fact that men shouldn't be forced to have the child. I mean, this shouldn't just be one person's decision. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I do. You know what I mean? But if you don't want to have the kid, then I mean, there should be some kind of a way for a man to be able to. But it's a tough law to do because it'll be then no, then no. There's a lot of how it's.
No, you just have to sign a permission saying, and then like if you want to continue with the child, that's fine. But the man would be allowed visitation rights. He wouldn't be obligated for child support.
He'd be allowed visitation rights.
Of course, it's his child. He should be be able to take the child if he wants to.
That's kind of crazy to say that.
But that's neither here nor there because
he's not taking care of the kid. Why would he be allowed visitation rights to see the kid?
Because it's his child. She had the child without his permission. He didn't sign the slip. See what I'm saying? We make the laws equal.
I don't.
But it's nice to live in a state where we can have this discussion.
If you don't take care of a kid, you shouldn't be allowed to see the kid. I mean,
if a man doesn't take care of his child, he goes to jail.
I'm not saying it like that. Like if you don't take care of the kid, you shouldn't be allowed to see it. But what I'm saying is more or less, if you were said that I don't want to have the kid, and then you don't take care of it, you don't pay anything for the kid, you should not be allowed to say come in and out of the child's life whenever you want to.
Well, the whole thing is like this: sense. You don't have to pay child support to see your child, anyways. That's a myth. People think, hey, if you don't pay child support, you can't see your kid. No. I
don't agree with that either. If you were
that's against the law.
If you're a
mother can lose her rights.
If you're a parent who wants to be there for your kid and you're doing the best you can, you should be able to see your kid.
And some dudes don't want to be dads, and so if they take off into the wind,
this is a horrible abortion law.
It is a horrible law, but that's what I'm saying. Also, it's like it's nice that we live in a state where we can have this kind of discussion because in these other states, they're not giving anybody. They're like you're going to get more time for having an abortion than somebody raping you and making you pregnant.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, at the end of the day, man, it's a slippery slope.
Yeah, it's a big discussion. We'll have it on another show. A little food for thought, everybody.
We definitely need to have that. And Al Qasim Hospital loses power as health facilities inundated amid nonstop Israeli attacks. We're switching over to Gaza now, just for a quick second. I know we talk about Gaza a lot, but there's a lot going on there. There's a lot of human suffering going on there, just like it's going on in Sudan and other places around the world. This is one of the last, I believe, 3 hospitals they have there. It's in central Gaza. They said that the power is being ran off of generators. They're using oil for the generators, and they pretty much don't have any more fuel left to run these generators. And this is what doctors are saying. And this is happening with, I think they have 2 other hospitals, and they're going through the same exact problem right now. But the UN and the U.S. have not been able to bring in any supplies because of the onslaught of attacks that Israeli IDF has been doing. And this is getting to the point. I mean, it's been past the point. We've already said that this is a humanitarian crisis. They've already said that people are dying of starvation. Babies. I think 28 babies have already died of just starvation. You starved. How do you starve the baby to death?
Well, they look at them as they're not human.
That's a mass murder.
Yeah, it's like that's how Republicans look at immigrants.
Exactly.
But see, also here it says the International Court of Justice on Friday ordered Israel to immediately halt its military assault on Rafah, the city in southern Gaza where more than 1 million people have sought refuge in dire conditions. The top United Nations court cited an immediate risk to Palestinians, noting that more than 800,000 people have been forced to flee Rafah since Israel's force began ground operations in the area that once declared a safe zone. They're saying, hey, you're committing a genocide. And you know who's fighting it? America.
We're paying for it, and we're going to pay for the cleanup. We're going to pay for everything. They basically told us we don't have to listen to you. We're not listening to your red lines. Like I said, we're about to give this guy who right now is a war criminal under international terminology. Everyone's coming out against him. We're about to give him a chance to speak in front of a joint session of Congress where the Senate and the House are going to sit there and listen to Netanyahu spout off consistent lies about. I won't say the Holocaust was not a lie, but I don't want you to keep bringing up the Holocaust every time something happens. And
you can't ride that. No, you can't ride that wave no more. After what you've done and what Israel has done in Gaza, and to the people in the video we've seen, you can't say, "Oh, we're doing this because of that." Nah, because you're committing a Gaza cause.
For 75 years in the region, man, they were placed there, and a lot of them were not. They weren't there first. Israelis were not there first. Arabs were there first. Africans were there first. That's who was in that region first. It's not that, but you were given this property because you paid for it.
Look, they've been fighting this holy war for hundreds of years, and that's exactly what it is. It's all over Jerusalem, folks. Look it up. You can look at the Crusades. That's the only place they want. They want the home of Jesus, and that's what it is. Because it's just, I'm telling you, that's all it is. That's the only place they want. That's why they want the whole area.
Believe in Jesus. That's the crazy part about it. Jewish people don't even believe in Jesus. They say that Jewish people don't believe that they speak directly to God. They don't. Only Christians believe in Jesus. That's pretty much about it.
Christianity is Christ. You know, but Jesus is also in the Quran. They recognize him. Yeah,
Muslims also believe in Jesus because we both have prophets. We're both like Jesus was God's son. They say, and Muhammad was a prophet.
Yeah. And they say for him to be the son of God is far fetched in the Quran.
Yeah. So I don't. Like I say, I'm not going to get into the factuals of those things. But at the end of the day, man, you've been given a territory that was not yours. You've come in there and you slaughtered people. You moved out. I think 700,000 people were displaced when they first was given this property. It was set up so that there was a large swath of property for both groups of people. You guys went through. Now you're killing them off the West Bank. You're taking over the West Bank. You're creating settlements there. You're probably about to steal Gaza. You're all talking about where can we send the Palestinians to? Nowhere. Back to Gaza.
Let them go home.
That's where you send them.
They were like, no, this is not their home no more.
But everyone's coming out saying too, because they understand what they're trying to do. And America's complicit in it, man. Our government is complicit in it.
Of course, America's OG genocide.
Is really complicit. The head of Blackstone, CEO of Blackstone, I cannot remember his name. He's a Jewish gentleman. He just declared that he will now side with
Donald Trump. Yeah,
because he's saying that there's a big anti-Semitism thing, but it's because Republicans have come out the way that they have. You see that when
they were protesting in Charlottesville, with the tiki torches they bought from Home Depot, screaming that Jews will not replace them. That's who you want to ride with. That's the whole thing. It's like when people are reaching for power and trying to get it back, they'll tell you whatever.
They don't care who.
But you have to understand, some people you don't have a place in their regime. And people don't understand that, like, there's no place for you. Say just like here, I have a thing here. It's a travel warning. The U.S. State Department has issued a worldwide travel warning for everyone. The U.S. Department of State has issued a worldwide travel advisory urging U.S. citizens to exercise increased caution while traveling overseas. Effective May 17, 2024, the advisory highlights a heightened potential for terrorist attacks, demonstrations, violence against U.S. citizens, and interests globally. The alert comes amid rising concerns over safety, particularly for the LGBTQ individuals and events.
You look at what we've done around the world. Right now, we're not in good graces with any. We haven't been for some time because how we've been doing things.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, we're supporting the genocide in the Middle East right now. Like Ukraine.
We're funding a war in Ukraine.
I think
we're back in Taiwan.
I think a lot of people back Taiwan. I don't think they're so much against Taiwan.
Who?
India.
Oh, my bad. Was there Al? Who?
India. A lot of the world backs Taiwan. Taiwan is creating 90% of the world's advanced chip semiconductors and 65 to 70% of just the basic ones. The world is kind of like, we don't want you messing with Taiwan, because they understand if China does that, they take the market right off the bat. There's just that's what's going to happen.
If China wanted to, they could take that in 2 hours.
Yeah, but I think it would be a little bit harder than what we believe.
Yeah, they surrounded them in a day.
Surrounding me and taking me is two different things.
Not really.
Kinda,
Not really.
We got to remember, if
you can surround your whole enemy, you could just take the island, you could just bombard them and make them wave the white flag. If you surround, think about it. If you're sitting there and you're face to face with another army, and another army comes behind you, you're smoked. They got you surrounded. Yo, come out your house. We got you surrounded. You know what that means? No escaping this. Dun 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 dun.
We got South Korea. Not saying they're going to get involved. We got Australia in the region right there.
What's South Korea going to do?
South Korea is got one of the biggest armies, one of the most.
Then why ain't they stopping North Korea from shooting missiles over Japan?
I don't think they
constantly.
I don't think they really care. They
probably don't.
They're paying him just. They're looking at them as they're a regime based off of a lineage, off of a family line, and eventually that family line will either die off or the people will overthrow it, and then you can probably unite both sides together. I'm not gonna. You have nuclear weapons. I'm not gonna. You just shot a missile into the ocean. It's not my problem right now.
He's shooting them over Japan.
Japan's not tripping either. They're like, okay, man, you can play your little game if you want to. I'm going to give you a couple.
I would be tripping.
They're probably tripping enough, but you know what I mean.
I'd be tripping. I'd be like, what the hell?
Right now, it's not.
I mean, maybe the first missile. The 10th one, I'd be like, look, this motherfucker can't aim for shit. Excuse me.
Hey, right now, I don't think it's worth the problem for them.
My bad. I don't mean to cuss.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, at the end of the day, we're going to do what we do here. It's
yeah.
Courtesy, you know. But another thing, Joe Biden welcomes President William Ruto to the White House as Kenya prepares to deploy to Haiti. President Biden said he will designate Kenya as a non-NATO ally as President William Ruto visits the White House on Thursday. The largely symbolic title was announced as Kenya prepares to deploy its forces to Haiti as part of an international security mission. The U.S. has pledged to contribute money, logistical support, and equipment. Biden justified the involvement in Haiti during a joint press conference with Ruto. President Joe Biden said Haiti is in an area of the Caribbean that is very volatile. There's a lot going on in this hemisphere, and we're in a situation where we want to do all we can do without looking like America once again is stepping over and deciding what must be done. Which is, he spoke the truth. It's a fact. That's why they're sending in Kenya. It's people who look like the people who they're going to defend.
Yeah, he's just trying to get the black vote in. That's all he's trying to do. He don't want to help nobody else, but you want to help Kenya.
I mean, you got to look at like
inner cities don't look the same for 20 years, but you want to help Kenya.
It's actually Kenya going into Haiti, though. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. Like
they've been there. They have their soldiers over there.
Yeah, and we got soldiers over there, too, actually. We got like there's UN soldiers over there as well. We need to stop what's going over in Haiti. Man. Yeah. I guarantee you there's a lot of like
we need to support Haiti and help them start their new regime. So without American official government influence, because, you know, they already went there and assassinated the president a couple years ago.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Now they over there, they hate the Haitians. They be like,
you look at it,
you like, stop that free labor.
Yeah, man. You started a wave pretty much. You look at it though. Right now, Haitians need our support, man.
Yeah, no, I'm with
whatever it. And whatever way we can get it, if we can get it this way, it's the best thing that can happen. When you release 3,000 to 4,000 people from prison, that's just what we know about one time. Once it went lawless across the board, you think people wasn't just walking out of jail, just doing whatever they want? And the same people who are in jail, some of them are probably pedophiles, rapists. The worst possible, and the weakest among us.
Are you sure they didn't kill them?
Man, probably not. If they pick up a gun and you can fight from my side, you're probably getting a gun.
I'm gonna wait till the first. If they let me out of jail like that, I'm gonna wait for the first 40 people to go to see if they gonna get gunned down. Then I'm gonna run. You know, I don't want to be the first one out the door. I'm free. Pop, 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 pop. They'd be like, well, another day, another Doug.
I know what you mean, but you got to also remember the most like the weakest among us, you know, not saying weak the
vulnerable,
the most vulnerable. That's the best terminology used. Most vulnerable. That's what I was looking for. Are children and women.
Yes.
And in a situation like that, man, lawlessness, we know as men how some men think.
Yeah.
You know, and they're going to prey upon these people.
Especially if you've been locked up for a couple years.
You know what I mean? And you're already probably a raper or something or a pedo. Like, you know, like.
You ain't got no money to pay for it? Yeah, you taking things.
You're just taking it. It's lawlessness, man. And imagine if it was lawlessness not out here right now. It's basically like not to go into some weird, like a zombie apocalypse, man. Pretty much. That's pretty much what that becomes like at that point in time. Like, you know, like watch the movies, we see all that, The Walking Dead. That's pretty much like what lawlessness is.
That's like if you see a zombie,
do what you want,
and he don't smile, that just means he dead serious.
Stupid.
Anyways, speaking of people taking things, Trump pledges to commute sentence of Silk Road founder Ross Ulbricht if elected. So he was talking in front of the Libertarian National Convention on Saturday. They was booing this man the whole time. And then he said he was going to, he said, and if you vote for me on day one, I will commute the sentence of Ross Ulbricht. Hope I'm saying that name correctly, right?
He said, what's his name?
Ross Ulbricht. 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 And so a little bit about him. Ross Ulbricht, he created the Silk Road in January 2011 and owned and operated the underground website until it was shut down by law enforcement authorities in October 2013. Silk Road emerged as one of the most sophisticated and extensive criminal marketplaces on the internet, serving as a sprawling black market bazaar where unlawful goods and services, including illegal drugs or virtually all varieties, were bought and sold regularly by the site's users. While in operation, Silk Road was used by thousands of drug dealers and other unlawful vendors to distribute hundreds of kilograms of illegal drugs and other unlawful goods and services to more than 100,000 buyers and to launder hundreds of millions of dollars to free this man. Excuse me. Sorry.
Are you serious?
No. He need to go.
I'm about to say, man, like, I'm not even one to. Like,
you know, it's crazy. They're like
police or jail on anybody. Yeah. That's not really. I don't mean thing, yelling, but no, you're good. You're good. But
you know, America, you can't sell drugs and destroy your community.
$200 million, man. I mean, that
they gave him life.
You got people
without parole.
You got people who are from our community who've done a lot less than this. You know, who didn't have it. This is internet. This is federal. This is going across state lines, wherever, probably, you know, nationwide. He's selling drugs. We don't know if it's killed people. What happened with these drugs? We don't know. You know, and so.
Well, the whole thing is you can't kill and destroy communities unless you have a degree to do it.
Yeah, that's out of line. That's crazy right there. He definitely deserved the time he got. I don't, you know.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I mean, you online, you stupid. You leaving marks. Come on now.
So what makes him a libertarian? I'm wondering.
I don't know.
I'm gonna have to ask my partner.
I don't know, but they was cheering it on. I guess people like to get high, and they don't want to leave the comfort of their home.
But are they saying that he should be able to do this?
Well, he created the website, and so I don't know why they feel he should. I thought it was weird too. I was like, why are they cheering that on?
Yeah, that doesn't make a lot of sense, man.
His moniker was Dread Pirate Roberts, or DPR.
He's probably a libertarian, and he, you know, probably put a lot of money into their lobby or something like that. Who knows, man?
Hey, man, he's making a lot. Got to do something with it.
Yeah. In other news, Macron visits New Caledonia and says reform will take place against the will of indigenous population. French President Emmanuel Macron described the recent upheaval in New Caledonia as an unprecedented insurrection movement. As he visited the archipelago Thursday, Macron said he would delay new reforms that would give voting rights to French residents of the territory, a move that the indigenous Kanak population argues will dilute their voice and their struggles for independence. This is President Macron. This reform, although it's rejected by some here, which has fed the violence, it has the democratic legitimacy. The bill proposed by the government has been voted with a clear majority, both in the National Assembly and the Senate. I say this as president. We don't just throw away popular sovereignty like a mere piece of paper. This is the French, you know, the French right now who had Niger, who had Burkina Faso. I mean, they pretty much this is another one of their colonies that they've taken over. Which these people here are probably like 40. Say the indigenous people are about 40% of the population. The French people are about 27%. And obviously, you've come there later on, and you probably killed off a large number of their population, and they're fighting for freedom. They don't want you in their island anymore.
Yeah,
they want you to leave. And so now what you're doing now is you're just sending people over to the island to go live there. It's probably, I'm not sure I think it's in the South Pacific, I believe. It's probably a nice, warm environment. They're sending their people over there. Here, go, the retirees, go live over there, and now you can vote.
Yeah,
and basically, so we can dilute the power of the locals and steal the island.
Kind of like Hawaii.
Kind of like Australia, you know what I mean? Like the same thing they've done.
Colonization happens to this day, just like slavery, man. It's just, you know, that's crazy. Like, you know, what they're gonna have to revolt. They
already started with this deal where they went into it. They've been rioting, tearing shit up like they're supposed to.
Yeah, like you're supposed to. That's the whole thing. People like you built this civilization. You shouldn't be scared to burn it down and start over.
I mean, in all honesty, man, like this has been my favorite line is "Your reign on top, but short like leprechaun." That comes from a very, very solid poet, Christopher Wallace of our time. That's what he said in one of his poetry writings that he made, and that's what I believe is happening to the people from the Western civilization right now. Their reign is starting to fall apart, and I don't believe that they know what else to do with this right now. I think they see it happening in front of them. The grip that they've had on society, they haven't had their own people turned against them. The ICJs turned against them, ICCs turned against them because they see the truth. And now people are starting to speak the truth. You know, like just like that guy from the ICC came out and said that they told me this court was made for Africa and for other people.
And for other countries, you're not supposed to come at us for it.
I watched that whole interview, and it just feeds into this type of thinking that Macron will come here.
Or the same thing. Who's the bald head dude that Prince, not Harry, what's the other one?
William.
Prince William. He says the same. He's like, oh my gosh, there's war in a European country. He's like, usually that's just Africa. There's just war in Africa. Well, this doesn't happen over here. Because that's the way they feel about it.
They pushed everything offshore, but these things are coming back to roost now. Like the biggest thing is that countries who are people of color right now are starting to advance. And very shortly, most of the top 10, top 15 countries of GDP and probably military too, because they're gonna have the numbers, are gonna be countries of color. Your guys are going to be stuck basically with your nuclear weapons, trying to defend yourself with that. But at the end of the day, your immigrants are going to wipe out your population because that's what's already happening. That's why you're angry. You look at Macron, not just him, but just in France in general, they stopped letting, I believe they're called minarets, or I can't remember. It's their Islam it's like their temples or their
mosques.
Yes, they have these type of steeples on top. I'm not sure if they're called minarets. Don't, please forgive me for if I'm getting that mistaken. They said there were too many of them in France, and they stopped letting them to do that. And they also told the women they didn't have to wear their hijabs.
Well, they're mad. They're big mad in Europe. There's a lot of countries they've been showing videos where they're like, look, they're showing parks where it's just covered with immigrants. It's just you got to keep up your own population.
The fact of the matter is they cannot keep up their own population. That's why you look at Spain, you look at Italy, their population has been decimated. It's in decline. The only reason that countries like France,
Greece,
and the UK are have a positive birth rate are because of immigrants right now. Just like America. The only reason we have a positive birth rate is because of immigrants right now. Without that, those countries, they cannot turn around their birth rate of the people who live there for their indigenous people who are from there, like the actual Caucasians, the Europeans. They can't. It's done. It's over. It's so low. It's over with. They need people to come in and do what they're doing, but they don't want that. You look at I believe it. I don't want to say it's either Norway or Finland, one of those countries up top there where we talked about him here recently, where their president just came into power and he's like a neo something. He's pretty much a racist dude. He's like, we don't want any more kicking all immigrants out of our country. They're trying to keep the purity of their race because they understand these are our last vestiges of hope. This is it for us.
Yeah.
And so, but at the end of the day, when something like that happens, it's not that I'm advocating for your race to end, but understand that there's going to be a change. No matter what happens, there's going to be a change. Capitalism has taken a turn and it's kind of fallen into the laps of the people, like people from China, people from India, other countries like that are coming up.
Well, think about it. If it was affordable here in America to actually have children and daycare and work a job and, people would actually have more kids. But I know people that don't have kids. They're like, I couldn't bring a kid into this economy, into this world. I can't afford that. I can barely afford to take care of myself.
And as you get put in a situation to where a lot of countries talk about how like a socialist, they don't use the word socialism, but there's like a social kind of an economy where you can provide healthcare for your people, where you can have it so there's a 4-day work week, and you look at like in France, I believe their retirement is like 52, man.
Yeah,
and they get like a month off.
Is that France? I know there's a country in South America, or maybe
I know it's happening in
they
Europe,
do it
man.
where like you take the Wednesday off, you take like I think it may be France, like you take like a 3-hour lunch. You go home and kick it, take a nap.
In Europe, they have like they've stolen. That France has the 4th largest gold reserves in the entire world.
Really?
And they don't even have any gold in their country to mine at all. They have the 4th largest gold reserves in the world. Think about that. So when these countries have gone out across the world and they did what they had to do, I don't blame you for doing what you did. People do things like that. This is as the world was. But okay, now you've taken what everyone else has, all their wealth, mined a lot of it out of their grounds, and you're still like right now taking and raping those same places for what they have, making them give you things for a cheaper price in your currency, where you drive down the price of their currency. And now you're taking it all back to your country. Where do you think people are going to go?
Yeah.
They're going to come to your country. Just like the guy said, man, if a person steals my TV and takes it to their house, I don't have the right to go watch my TV at your house.
That is true.
And that's kind of what that is. But on another note, SCOTUS approves racially gerrymandered South Carolina voting map.
Well, South Carolina was the first to succeed.
Was it?
I believe so. Yeah, South Carolina.
I believe it. That sounds like
first to succeed.
When you say South Carolina, it sounds like it probably was the first to succeed. When you say something like that,
we the South.
He said, in the U.S., the Supreme Court on Thursday approved a South Carolina congressional map that a lower court previously ruled was racially gerrymandered and constituted a bleaching of African American voters from a district.
I don't know why black people live in South Carolina anyways.
I mean, I got family live in South Carolina.
Really?
It's probably what we look at and what we see a lot of times, like people probably, I think they have a city in South Carolina called Blackville or something like that. I'm telling you, I'm into logistics and stuff like that. So there's a city called like Blacksville or Blackville or something like that. I'm telling you, there's a lot of black people who live in South Carolina.
I bet there is. I mean, you have to go somewhere when you got free.
No, man, like that. All down south is really where a lot of us originated from.
Yeah, the large population of black folks is in Mississippi.
30%. You know, we go up here. There's probably there's only 5% of black people who live in our state.
Yeah, not that many made it up north. So
you know what I mean. So there's a lot of people down there. They've gone through a lot, but they also have their, they're kind of like their power structures in those areas as well. So we look at like
Atlanta,
like Tulsa, and,
Georgia,
like when back in the day, Tulsa,
Atlanta,
those were like our power structures, and Atlanta, especially right now.
Tulsa, they had one in New Jersey.
Yeah, and so
I mean, the key words they had them. It's crazy. Tulsa, Oklahoma. A lot of people don't realize this is the first time America had ever dropped bombs on anybody. They did it to their own citizens because they couldn't get into the town to kill the people. So the sheriff from the neighboring town got into a plane and he lit dynamite and dropped it on the city. And it's the first time America had ever dropped bombs on anybody.
And they act like they don't know how many people died. Those people have banks.
Shoot, I saw the video with the old lady like from last year that was talking. She was like, I was a little girl. Yep. They set everything on fire, but they made sure they didn't touch that cross.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And this is kind of like, these are things that we talk about because this is American history. And until America remedies what's happened within its history, that's why we understand why America is the way it is. We understand why the structure of America is set up the way it is. We're not just here to complain. We're doing something about it. That's why we made our platform, so we could talk about it and have these discussions at the same time. But we do expect change because America can't win without us, period. And at the end of the day, the way that we're heading, the way the direction America is heading in right now, just, the way that we treat other countries of color, that's not going to work in the long term.
The thing about America, though, it's like, that's what makes us great. And they say it all the time, it's our diversity. We may not like each other for what we see on TV, but if we all sat down, didn't talk politics, just talked about things, you'd realize we all basically have the same things in common.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's weird and crazy like that. But let us know what you think. Like, listen, subscribe, share. Uncommon Courtesy. We'll see you next time.